Hi golfers, Nick here from Nick Taylor Golf. It's Wednesday, so welcome to another episode of Golf Talk. This week on Golf Talk, we're going to take a look at Rod Pampling's swing, the latest winner on the PGA Tour. What an awesome performance, 47 years old, first win on the PGA Tour for 10 years. Very impressive stuff. So Rod Pampling, he works with a guy called Gary Edwin, who is the creator of the right-sided golf swing. So if you've not heard of that, I'll put the link in the description below for his website and his YouTube channel, but make sure you check it out, some good stuff on there. So I had a question asked to me after Rod won his tournament the weekend, what's the difference between stack and tilt and the right-sided golf swing? So what I've done here, I've put together a video of Rod and Charlie Wee, who's the model for stack and tilt, and we're going to go through some comparisons, some similarities, what's different between them, to hopefully give you guys a little bit of an idea. So let's take a look at the face-on view here. I've got Charlie Wee on the left and I've got Rod Pampling on the right, both hitting an iron. I know Rod's in the fairway bunker there, but this is probably the best angle and best quality video I could find of Rod. So first of all, just to note that Charlie Wee is set up with his weight on the left, and so has Rod. So both players have positioned their weight on the left, which is seen as sometimes as a bad thing or a negative thing. But you can see here with both of these swing models, both players are set the weight on the left. I would say Charlie Wee's feet are a little bit more flared. I know with the right-sided golf swing they tend to have their feet a little squarer, but in Charlie Wee's case a little bit more flared, although I'd say Rod's feet are slightly flared in this video we're looking at here. Let's take a look at backswing. So you can see how in the takeaway there's a lot more rotation of the shoulders in Charlie Wee's case compared to Rod, and you can see how Rod sort of set the angle with his wrists on the way back rather than turning his body. With stack and tilt, the first sort of move is that left shoulder goes down, that sends the hands in the takeaway. So you can see there slightly higher hands, a slightly wider takeaway with Charlie Wee, more rotation as well. Let's take it to the top of the backswing P4. You'll notice again here how a lot more shoulder turn in Charlie's case, probably past 90, whereas you can see with Rod Pampling he hasn't quite reached 90 degrees there of shoulder turn. And if you take a look at the right-sided golf swing logo, it looks a little bit like this. So you can see the lines I'm drawing here on Rod, that's kind of like the right-sided golf swing logo. It doesn't look too different to Charlie Wee. So you can see how both players have sort of got the weight on the left, both stay very centred in the golf swing, so there's no shift off the golf ball, although I would say in stack and tilt there's a lot more body rotation. I know Gary Edwin likes to create power with the arms, whereas with stack and tilt there's probably a little bit more rotational, a bit more extension and side tilting of the spine as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the downswing. I'm going to take it down to P5, position 5. Both players are moving, pushing their hips forward, moving their weight forward. You'd see how Rod creates a lot of lag in his golf swing, even more than Charlie Wee. You'll see Charlie Wee there, he's probably got an angle between his left forearm and the club shaft around sort of 70 degrees. But Rod has got probably even less than that, I'd say. That's got to be close to what, 55, 50? Yeah, 50. So you can see a little bit more lag here with Rod. But other than that, pretty similar. So I can't quite get all the frames here with Rod, so we're just going to wind it down to this position here. You can see, again, both players low body weight on the left, both creating lag at this point in time. Let's carry on. You can see Rod's left wrist slightly bowed at that point. We can look at that from down the line view as well. And then as we hit through, so we're going to go through to P8, just past P8 with the shafts parallel on the follow through. And probably the main difference here is there's a little bit more hip slide or side tilt from Charlie Wee. So if you look at his spine here, probably a little bit more forward there with the hips compared to Rod, but both players definitely got their weight on the left at this point. Both of them stay very centred in the golf swing. So a lot of similarities from this face-on view. Let's take a look now at the down the line view. So again, I'm going to put Charlie on the left hand side and I'm going to put Rod on the right so you can sort of take a look at their down the line view. So we saw the face on view set up quite similar. and again from down the line it's quite similar as well. So let's take the swing back now. This is where we start to see a few differences. You can see Charlie, as he takes the club back, his hands move inwards, his club head stays outside his hands. So we take it back to P2, roughly about there, and with Rod, he tends to fan open the face a little bit more than Charlie, where you can see here at this point P2, you can see how the club face angle in Charlie's case is very similar to his spine angle, whereas with Rod, a lot more open at this point. As we wind it on to position 3, you can still see the hands moving inwards at this point with Charlie, and with Rod, his hands have moved in at this stage, but maybe not as much as Charlie Wee. So let's take it to the top P4. You'll see a little bit more rotation of the body, and you can see daylight between the knees in Charlie Wee's case. So that's going to help him turn his hips more, it's going to help him turn his shoulders more, and as a result the left arm's travelled a little bit further. So we saw that from the face-on view, a lot more rotation from Charlie Wee compared to Rod. You notice how in both cases the right hip is higher than the left. Now as we start down, so we're going to go down to position 5. Again, at this point, quite similar. I'd say Charlie Wee's left arm is a little bit more in at this stage. Let's wind it on a little bit further. Okay, very similar at this stage again. Both players by this point, sort of their body angles are returned to the same at setup, so knee flex is back to the same, the hips are square to the target. However, the shoulders are still closed at this stage, but by the time they get into impact, they'll start to square up the shoulders and the hips will start to turn more open. So as you strike through here, you'll see how both players, their hands and the club head will be moving to the left. So I can't quite get all the frames with Rod, so I'm just going to wind it on to sort of the exit position here. In both cases, both players' shaft has exited just below the left shoulder, and you can see where the hands are coming out roughly just below the left shoulder again in both cases. Both players have sort of kept the inclination to the ground as they've gone through, so body angles there very similar. Slightly more abbreviated finish from Charlie Wee, but other than that, there's a lot of similarities there. So I'd be interested to hear you guys' thoughts. Do you know a little bit about right-sided golf swing? I don't know too much, only from what I've been researching, so I'm going to try and look into it a little bit more, maybe talk a little bit more about it in another video further on down the line. So golfers, I'd be interested to hear your comments about this. Stack and tilt, right-sided golf swing, quite a few similarities there. Post your comments in the box below, I'd like to hear from you. So golfers, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, and you can also follow me on my other social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.